you should be. And Kyle, I know the exact thing that you are going to take away from this was not the Andre Yosevach experience at the end. It was the fact that, to your point, for as much as the Bengals have absolutely struggled in September, perhaps this approach now is because they want to welcome a faster, a hotter start in the regular season. So they threw their guys out there to mess around in early August. And Kyle, sounds like you're here for it.
Who isn't? Or, listen, maybe you watch that game and maybe you're like, oh, my God, I can't look. Just get Burrow the hell off the field. I understand that. And certainly maybe if you're a Colts fan, you feel that way, too, this morning. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Maybe it's the slow start to a season thing. I looked it up. So they played 15 snaps each. Burrow and Chase each played 15 snaps. Last year, Chase didn't play at all. 2023, Chase didn't play at all. It's definitely different. They got the guys out there. And as we're going to see, there's other teams, too. We're going to get to this Raiders highlight. Geno's out there. Ashton Genty is out there. It's a real fan question. Do you like seeing the superstars out there in a preseason game? Is it good? Is it fun? Or is it like, no. I have enough patience to wait until September. I don't want an injury risk. I remember Michael Vick against the Ravens. I remember Tony Romo in 2016. Or do you just say, I've been parched for 6 straight months, and I just want to see some damn highlights? I'm someplace you're never supposed to be in sports media, guys. I'm on the fence. I feel both the exact same way. But if the Bengals truly think that, no way, we're not going 0-2 or 1-1 or anything to start the season, if this is going to change it, well, then God bless them. Do they look great out there? I mean, this is some of the best preseason action I've ever seen, Blackman.
No, I think this is great. I mean, I am on the fence in terms of, like, okay, I do want to see the starters, but, like, after 2 plays, all right, get them out. Like, get them out. I've seen enough.
2 plays?
That's it. Just something. Just get out there, a couple screens, couple, quick game, and get them out of there. But, yeah, it was exciting to see them out there. I mean, we talked about Jamar Chase. He's going against Ringo, who was a starting corner and, had his day with them. So I love it for this. I love it for the Bengals because, yes, they need to start way faster this year.
We talked about yesterday a more iconic event in sports, the UFC or the field, and we went around the horn, Jamie, and we talked about our favorite moments. Guys, on that first drive that the Eagles had when they got down to the 1-yard line, it's like I'm bracing for myself. It's like, are they about to do the tush push to score their first touchdown of the season against the starters for the Bengals? When they did it, I was like, Nick Sirianni, you sick man, you. Like, how dare you? You did it in the preseason game. Like, that's what I look. I look exactly like Jalen in my living room watching this. Is like, no, it's like WWE. You know when the opponent is stumbling around and Goldberg is ready to do the spear. You're like, uh-oh, it's coming. He's not going to do it. Boom. I was so geeked out of my mind, Jamie, that they ran that tush push. It was a statement that they made last night, and I think another statement that has to be made about the Bengals is that defense needs some help.
Oh, Lordy.
Like, they need some help.
For as much as things change, that stayed the same from last season. So the Bengals got to figure it out defensively. A final thought on that game, that if the Eagles seem like they're in midseason form with their tush push, so was the television production, because to have the instantaneous reaction to Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts absolutely cackling on the sideline, that's the kind of technical directing that we like to see in the broadcast booth. So preseason games winning.
Good point, Jamie.
Yeah, maybe that's the restart. That here we go. They're 1-0. Baltimore, you start afresh. What are the Colts doing at quarterback after that highlight had that unfortunate? If you look closely enough, I think you may have seen the dislocated pinky, perhaps, on the throwing hand for Anthony Richardson. What do we make of their quarterback situation now, Manti?
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate what happened to Anthony Richardson in that play. I wish him a speedy recovery. It should be fine. I mean, tape that thing up. Probably a few weeks. Now, Daniel Jones goes in there. I think one of the best throws that I seen last night was when he rode to his left and he hit Ashton Doolin for like 25 yards. That was a nice throw. But if we're talking about quarterbacks, guys, I'm not being biased. Riley Leonard looked the best. Like I said yesterday that they wanted to run the RPO system, and Riley Leonard looked very comfortable in the RPO, that run pass option offense. And so I think that Riley Leonard gave him a really good shot. He had a really good outing for the Colts, and I'm excited to see how he kind of how he gets better and he proves throughout the preseason. Yes, how he blossoms in the preseason.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because it was when AR got hurt, it was a misprotection perhaps on his part or the center's part. And I would say probably it was Anthony's, because you had a free runner and you got to see that. I remember playing receiver. I always had to know where the blitzer was, so I had the hot route. So I knew if I saw someone coming, okay, I need to look now so Matt Ryan can get me the football. But I did not expect I was going to watch a Week 3 2022 matchup between Cooper Rush and Daniel Jones in the NFC East. I did not think I was going to see that Week 1 of the preseason. But who stood out to this game? Like, it let me know immediately that Tyler Warren is the real deal. Like, he's going to be fantastic. He's going to crush it this year. I even sent a tweet out. I was like, okay, I seen enough. Get him out the game. Like, he had enough. He's getting hit in the legs. Get him out the game. So Tyler Warren, he was a standout for me.
Well, listen, I hate to say this, but let's be honest. This Friday morning, August 8th, can we call it? Like, is Daniel Jones starting for the Colts Week 1? Probably, almost definitely.
It says day to day.
It's football. But what?
It says day to day. You think that's already?
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot of things. But I don't know if Anthony Richardson was going to start if he stayed healthy. Like, if he's going to miss day to day, if he's going to miss a week, the overwhelming odds that Daniel Jones is going to start this. I think he was going to start anyway. They brought him in to start. So I hate it for Anthony Richardson, and I'm kind of with Will. Like, anybody online just saying that the line blew it for him, or this was an inside job, ha ha ha. Anthony Richardson's got to pick that up and throw out of that. And this is not a rookie quarterback. Like, I don't want to blame him for getting injured. I'm just going to say, like, this was a very tight quarterback competition, which I think Daniel Jones was already the favorite. And now if Anthony Richardson's going to miss time with an issue in his throwing hand, I think it's a wrap. I'm calling it. Unless something happens to Daniel Jones, and I hope it doesn't, I think when the Colts and the Dolphins play Week 1, I think it's going to be Daniel Jones on his second team starting Week 1. So I hope I'm wrong. I've said from the get-go I'm more interested in watching Anthony Richardson, but terrible. I'm glad it didn't happen to more quarterbacks last night, but I will say it again. I'd be very, very, very surprised if we turn on the Colts Week 1 as anybody other than Daniel Jones starting.
Couple things about what Kyle just said. We had the distinct pleasure over the last couple of days to have some of the NFL brass in the building, the schedule makers, perhaps. Kyle, for as many divisional opponents that are matching up in Week 1, that Dolphins-Colts game kind of jumps off the marquee. Like, man, that feels random, but we're going to watch it because we need to find out a little bit more about each of those teams. About you being squarely on the fence as to whether or not to play players in the preseason, I think it should just kind of be labeled as like a case-by-case, team-by-team basis, because there are some teams like the Ravens where you're like, that lineup of Kyle Hamilton, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, you're like, I don't need to see those guys, but I actually do feel better about seeing some of the Bengals work out. So it just has to be a case-by-case. And you score a touchdown, do you kick it or go for 2? On GMFB, we always go for 2 because we got a lot of stuff to get through, so we got to just keep things moving. There's a lot of excitement for Bears fans seeing how Caleb Williams will adapt to Ben Johnson's scheme, system, and the way he runs a team. The quarterback gave an update on how everything's going.
It's been fun. It's challenging. To be able to see in somebody else's lens at all times, and obviously you're not always going to be on point, not always going to be, where exactly, he may want you when he calls that, but that's what we're working towards. We're working towards, when he calls this play, it's, this play is for this, and this is the situation, and it may change depending on the situation.
Takes a special kind of person, I think, to say it's been fun. It's challenging. Manta, I feel like you're one of those people. You find the fun in the challenging moments. Yeah. What do you think of the Bears so far through training camp?
Funny. That's the first time I heard that interview. And Caleb says, looking through his lens, Ben Johnson's lens. That's something that really stands out to me. Why? Because oftentimes coaches will come into a situation and try to make his system according to his quarterback's lens. But Ben Johnson is coming into the Chicago Bears and say, no, you're going to see it through my lens. And I love what's been coming out of Bears camp with them going live, the physicality that has been reported out of there. I've never heard of people going live in 7-on-7. Now, that's a first. But I think that's kind of where Ben Johnson is kind of leading this team, and the identity and the toughness that they need to play with, especially in the NFC North, that is physical, it's violent, and Ben Johnson is, to Caleb's point, Ben Johnson is making it clear, like, you're going to do it my way. And I think that's a great thing for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I think it's been going very well for them in camp. I actually had the pleasure. I was speaking to Bears GM Ryan Poles last night, a good buddy of mine. And I asked him how's it going. He said it's very good. He's building his foundation. He said coach is very, very hard on Caleb. He's challenging him very much. But the kid's responding, is what he said. Yeah. And it's not linear, but he's getting better and better as he progresses. As in, like, he may not be directly like one play or like he's progressing straight through. Like, sometimes he throws good passes, sometimes he doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes he shows great things, sometimes he doesn't on the other end. And he said he loves the coach, he loves the players, he loves the buy-in. and it's really good. And so now they're going to have a couple of joint practices. I believe they have them with the Dolphins because he really wants to see who's going to rise to the occasion. So you can tell right now, based on the culture, it's very, very competitive. They're challenging everyone. And yes, you as a new coach, you must see it through my eyes first. You must see like what I'm asking for. So I love his answer, and I love what's going on in Chicago.
Well, if anybody watching doesn't know, you and Ryan Poles, the Bears GM, are both Boston College guys.
I didn't want to bring up BC, you know.
Because that's cool. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like Ryan Poles just recently in the offseason got a big contract extension, which actually raised some eyebrows amongst Bears fans because he hasn't done much winning and there's a lot left to be desired in the final product. So, like, just give us a little insight into Ryan Poles, who looms really large this year in the NFL and the decisions he's made. What kind of guy is he?
I played with Ryan Poles at Boston College, and he's been the same person, just consistent, just a professional at all times. And then, yes, he spent, I think, a decade at Kansas City in that front office. So, I mean, what a better place to learn in that front office there with Brett Veach over there. So, yeah, coming to Chicago, he's someone who he likes to be behind the scenes. He's really methodical. He definitely has that quiet, mystique, general manager energy about him. So when he got the job in Chicago, I was not surprised. So right now, I believe he's done a great job with all the assets he's been provided as a general manager. And right now, they look like they're set up for success.
I hear that, and he is all in on Caleb. Caleb is his baby. I think to answer the question, though, Jamie, I think this so far, the Bears training camp portrayal in the media has been folly. I think it's been ridiculous. And I really do think that all of the throwing net stuff and this and that, like it's the kind of stuff where in a month from now, 2 months from now, those tweets are going to be deleted. You go back and look at that stuff. Those people are going to delete those tweets so as to hide it like a dog burying what he did. Like, I think it's not going to age well at all. I really don't. I just think that the fact that Caleb is there and he's ready to roll, and it's preseason. Guys, listen, in the media, nobody gets it more than us. Preseason football is fake Christmas. You wait and you wait and you wait and you want it so badly, and it's like right now is the equivalent of like December 5th for a kid waiting for Christmas, and you just whine and complain, and there's nothing, and it's all these presents, and you want them, and you complain to your parents, and finally your parents are like, fine, open this one. These are the preseason games. And you open the present, it's like it's a sweater. You're like, this sucks. I don't like this. I want that one. You don't get that one yet. You don't get that one yet. You got to wait for that one. So don't weigh in on how you got a terrible group of presents this year because you got one sweater because you nagged your parents into letting you open it. The good stuff is yet to come. It's really something. We're so hungry for football, and we so want to have takes on these players when the preseason really doesn't allow us to have takes of substance on players. So what happens? You start jumping on nonsense and idiocy to try to have takes and make content. It's very difficult. It's difficult to really make something that makes sense out of that. So some of us try to just tread water and wait and wear the sweater and fine. But then others are just like, nah, I don't care. I'm going to go nuclear with this stupid throwing net thing because I'll get reaction. It's nonsense. It's 2025 media. And I happen to think that in a month or two, I hope those people go back and delete them. And we will find you because we know when we retweet you and you go back and says this tweet has been deleted, you tried to cover it up, tough guy. And we know it. That's going to be happening this season for Caleb Takes.
What you're saying is you have to have patience and loyalty for the regular season. It's like if a shiny new toy comes into the toy room and you're like, no, this is awesome. This is exactly the thing. And you just kind of push your other toys aside. You're like, no, those toys were awesome. They've been with you. Stay with the regular season. Kyle, is that kind of what I'm trying to interpret here?
It's tough. We're all children when it comes to loving football. And it's like, you see the present there. It's like, Mom, I can tell it's obviously a bike. You tried to wrap a bicycle. I can see what it is. Can I just open it? No.
It's just too bad. Sometimes you lose Kyle. It's because he's going off on a Christmas Day rant. Let's see what happens in the regular season, though, specifically with this young man. Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders was the second quarterback off the board for this team. However, he will get the start tonight as Dylan Gabriel has been dealing with a bit of an injury throughout training camp. Browns are playing the Panthers, a game that you can see right here on NFL Network. Myles Garrett, household name in Cleveland and nationally if you're a football fan, was asked about Shedeur Sanders and how he's conducted himself during training camp.
He's funny, he's optimistic, he's lighthearted, but he works hard. You know, he takes it seriously, his craft, and he's watching what the others are doing and you know, doing it his own way in which only he can. So, looking forward to see him, during these preseason games and how he, manages the offense. But I think he looks good, but all the guys look good right now.
Guys, I need a bit of a warning if that's the soundbite that I'm going to, okay? I can't just, with a straight face, say, here's Myles Garrett on this 5th-round quarterback. Kyle, Kyle.
Ask your questions wisely.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
I didn't even listen to a single thing he said.
I know, you can't. That should be behind a paywall. I mean, that's an incredible, incredible image. What a guy. I mean, just leave that up there for the rest of the show. We'll shut up. We don't even need any noise around it. My gosh.
That's why he's on my NBA Jam team, guys.
So,
yeah.
Apparently, during that soundbite, Myles Garrett said something about Shedeur Sanders. Let's say other things about the quarterback
I don't know if
shall
that's
we?
true.
I don't know. I cannot confirm or deny it.
Jamie, eyes up here, okay?
I can't. I was not prepared. I look such a fool. I'm like, listen to this very journalistic and serious thought from Myles Garrett. I was like, bam! Oh my God! All right, Manti, you say things now. Stop it!
I got you, Jamie.
I feel the same way. I can't speak either.
Sam, matter of fact, Sam, I got
he makes me feel strange about myself.
Sam, I got Sam's back. Sam. Okay, let's talk about Shedeur.
Come on, guys.
Okay, let's talk about Shedeur. What do we expect from Shedeur Sanders tonight? Okay, what do I expect? I expect completions. Okay, just complete the ball, Shedeur. I know there was a lot of talk when he came out of college that he had a tendency to hold on to the ball and it got into a lot of trouble. I don't care where you throw the ball, Shedeur. If it's 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, 5 yards behind, just complete the pass. Like, go play loose, have fun, and just be on pace. Like when your back foot hits the ground on a 3-step drop, throw the ball. Just throw to somebody in a brown or orange or white jersey and make those passes. So that's my expectation for him. Just don't hold the ball. Don't try to be a hero. Just make completion after completion, and then we'll see where that leads you in every single drive. But
is there a more well-prepared quarterback for preseason than Shedeur Sanders? You look at in Colorado, right? They were ranked dead last in rushing, right? They had 65 yards per game. You had teams like the Kent State Golden Flashes, the Arizona Zips, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, who had more rushing yards than the Colorado Buffaloes. Also, too, he was the most sacked quarterback in the entire in all of college football, 42 times, but still was able to throw for 4,000 yards, still have 74 completion percentage, still have 37 touchdowns and 10 picks. He was still able to stand in all that chaos, no protection, no run game, and still have success. So I'm looking forward to see what he does because basically he played in a preseason game all last year.
Hey, Will, you cracked me up, man. I got to get an Arizona Zips jersey. That sounds like a hell of a program. I want to donate to the Arizona Zips. I think it's the Akron Zips, but I said Arizona?
You know what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
Akron Zips.
I think it's the Akron Sun Devil. That's all right. We feel you. We mess up all the time. I actually like the sound of the Arizona
Zips just flows better, right? Akron Zips. Hey, my bad, LeBron. I know you're an Akron guy. You know.
Yeah. Just a kid from Arizona, as he likes to say.
Him and Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, this is I'm looking at the bottom of the screen, and it's a Browns logo and a Panthers logo, and in spite of that, I feel like this is going to be an event tonight, like a real event. I think it's going to be something that we look back on, a football event, sort of, but also a media event. Your phone, you at home, your phone's going to be smoking tonight. If he plays well, Shedeur, there's going to be a faction of the internet that will scream about everything from disrespected to collusion. If Shedeur has a rough night, another faction will scream, I told you so. Either way, there will be screams, fire in the hole. I can't wait for this game. In a lot of ways, given the tenor of the media in 2025 and the relationship with Shedeur, this is like one of the most high-profile preseason games in history. Browns at Panthers. Watch the media. People are going to try to make their careers on social media based on a Week 1 preseason Browns game. People might ruin their careers on it, too. This is going to be nuclear. What I would like to see and what I hope to see, I want Shedeur to go out and win the job. I'm talking about like the real job, the starting job. Take a huge step to do that. Be undeniable. I promise you, no one with the Browns, no one is rooting for Joe Flacco to be the best quarterback on the team this year, nor Kenny Pickett or any of those guys. The Browns would love nothing more than the best quarterback on their roster to be Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel, and Gabriel is hurt. So Shedeur, go play. Go play out. We have not seen a fifth-round rookie quarterback start week 1 of their rookie year, but who cares? We've seen guys who get passed on over and over show up as rookies and just have it. Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, on and on and on. And we didn't know they had it until they actually take the field. I'd say to Shedeur, tonight is a football night. It is a football night. No fame, no NIL, no draft party, no retired number. This is not about prime time. This is in prime time. Tonight, you are not a Nepo player or a celebrity athlete. You are a cheap day 3 pick rookie who your own team barely believed in on draft night. Play like that tonight. Play with the chip. Play with the motivation. Play great. Take a big leap to actually winning this job. That's what I want to see.
Kyle, I'm going to press you even further because you describe kind of the aura around the night, but I also challenge you to give us like some tactile number. You want to see a half? Do you want to see 8 for 9? Not like, what do you want to see from him and how he conducts himself? Because you're right, camera's going to track him everywhere. People are going to want to see how he behaves. But what about the real production that would convince you that he should be the guy?
I want to see him play a lot. I'd love to see him play a whole half because I like to see response to things. If he throws a pick, if he's strip sacked or something, I want to see how he plays right after that. I want to see the next throw. I want to see the next snap. I want to see all the stuff we want to see. I want to see command of the huddle. I want to see him pointing guys around here, moving guys here. Does he look the part? And I want to see the arm. I want to see the legs. I mean, I wouldn't like to see an entire 2 quarters, 3 quarters. I don't care. By the way, they don't have a lot of healthy bodies, all right? They brought in Snoop Huntley and Flacco. I don't know if he's going to play at all. I doubt. He's not going to come in as a replacement for Shedeur. The other guys are hurt. So we may see a ton of football, and I want to see it all. I apologize for nothing. I want to see a lot of Shedeur tonight. I think it's a huge opportunity for him. He wouldn't be starting this game without injuries. This is how it works. Sometimes somebody gets hurt, you get a shot. Dak Prescott, same thing, 2016.
Yeah, KB just mentioned there's only 2 quarterbacks that are really playing. So I would love to see him play the entire first half and then Snoop get in there and play the second half. But in that first half, man, it would be magical if on the first drive he just marched down the field. And on that stat sheet, I don't know what his stat sheet is going to be, but I hope there's a 1 under the touchdown category because I would love to see that for him. Now, I want to see him be able to march down the field. I don't want to see that 1-play bomb. I want to see like a 10, 12, 13-play drive where he really has to command an offense and throw an incompletion here and then respond with an 8 or 10, 12-yard pass. Like that's what I want to see out of Shedeur when he face off against the Panthers. Is I want to see that. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I love that. Like you both said, really go battle. Like he wasn't the first round pick we need to protect. You know, he go out there, has a couple plays, and then sit him down. Like really have him go through the journey, and that would be awesome for him to straight go down the field. Want to see all kinds of situational footballs. Hopefully he gets a 2-minute, right? Let's see him get a red zone. Let's see him if he's backed up, and you're not going to see exactly. You're not going to see that in the very first quarter. I mean, you may, but if he plays 3, he might play the whole game, have him do all that. So I'm really looking forward to see him display all of those tools and just see how he is, I'm looking forward to that.
In the world of, private jets and social media, a thought did cross my mind, like, are we going to see Deion there? Does he show up on the sideline? Does he take a beat from coaching up his own college training camp at Colorado to support his son? His son, Shedeur, was asked about this recently, and he said, not about the game in particular, about training camp. I don't want him coming to see me right now because I want to get where I want to go, then for him to see me. I don't want him to come and see me get a couple of reps, have him cheer on like a good dad. Like, no, you can't be proud of me right now. I got to get where I'm going. I know it's a lot I got to go out there and do. Kyle, what do you think about Deion's connection to all this? It's almost, I think the coverage has actually subsided, obviously with his health issues and whatnot for the dad and the head coach. But what do you make of Deion kind of watching his son get this start tonight?
I like Deion not being there. I like it. It's just he's too big of a presence. Every shot in the crowd will be of Deion this and Deion that. I just want it to be a stripped down, Spartan, old-fashioned, could be any other fifth-round pick coming in, trying to make a team and make some throws. The second Deion's there, it's the supernova presence. I think they've played it really well, really classy, football first. Deion represents so many things that aren't football by no fault of his own, but I love the idea of him not being there. In fact, for the entire preseason, I think it's very, very cool.
I like the personalities of the quarterbacks that we're going to talk about in this segment. We're going to start with a rookie in New York. Jackson Dart is calling his Giants preseason debut, quote, the start of a dream. And he'll have his family in attendance when the Giants take on the Bills. Another friendly face for the rookie has become Bills quarterback Josh Allen, who Jackson Dart has been getting advice from.
Yeah, I talked to Josh like a few days after I got drafted. And he's been somebody who I've, really looked up to. And since coming here, just, watching a ton of his tape and how he was able to operate, Coach Dave's system and whatnot. So it's going to be, kind of a surreal feeling to, be on the same field with him.
This feels like a bigger deal than he's making it sound. Will, what do you make of Jackson Dart hearing from Josh Allen and keeping the connection up?
Yeah, this is a very, very big deal. And this lets me know that during the quarterback evaluation process, when Daboll was interviewing or going through this process with Jackson Dart, he saw a lot of things in Josh Allen that he sees in Jackson Dart. Especially everyone he evaluated. When I say them draft, I was like, okay, he definitely sat there. And there were probably questions or certain things he did with Josh Allen when he came as a rookie that he did with Jackson Dart. This is a huge deal, and this isn't anything crazy. I mean, you see it now with you got Greg Olson's tight end U, right? A nice mentorship program there. You got Von Miller's, Sack Summit, another mentorship type of deal. But this is how it is. This is what you want for your young quarterback to have somebody. And unfortunately, in this situation, it's somebody on a different team, in this case. So I love this. This is a huge deal because you want to be able to, as a rookie, be able to someone you can study, someone you can watch, someone you can look at and have direct contact with. So this is great. This is something exactly that's going to help him.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. I do think it's a big deal. Now, when I listened to Jackson Dart in that little interview, he said that he called Josh Allen shortly after he got drafted. So I'm assuming that after he gets drafted, either Brian Daboll, I'm assuming it's Brian Daboll, says, hey, call this guy. Call Josh Allen. Because I don't think anybody that Jackson Dart knew before getting drafted to the Giants had Josh Allen's number besides that man right there or Joe Shane. So that tells me one thing. The Giants had a type, and they're looking for that type. And when they met with Jackson Dart, that he was their type, and he brought them in. They brought him in having an understanding and a plan as to what they wanted to do. Obviously, all the conversation in the past few years with the Giants and Joe Shane and Brian Daboll and their history with the Buffalo Bills is, when are they going to get their guy? When are they going to get their Josh Allen? How are they going to find that? Well, Jackson Dart gets drafted. And for me to know now, for us to know now that the first person one of the first people that he talked to was Josh Allen, tells me exactly where the Giants are trying to go with their team this year, Kyle.
Well, listen, I think Daboll doesn't get enough credit for his role in the ascension of Josh Allen. He's hugely responsible in a lot of ways from taking this crazy young maniac quarterback out of Wyoming and making him into the league MVP eventually. Like, he was a very, very critical figure in teaching Josh the game and coaching Josh. And Josh would have made it either way, but I think Daboll, part of his legacy is Josh Allen. And it's cool. Listen, the quarterback call thing, a lot of times you see it if they played at the same college program or they both work with Jordan Palmer or somebody like that. I don't see that connective tissue here other than Daboll is like, you played under this guy. He's my head coach. I'm going to call you. Josh Allen, incredibly magnanimous superstar, probably gushed about him and gave him help. It's not like they're division rivals or something like that. I guess the only problem is for Jackson Dart is like, I don't know if you can do some of the things that Josh Allen can do. Like, no one can really do those things. So Josh Allen be like, yeah, and with Dave's system, just drop back, and if nobody's open, just run out of the pocket and leap over a 6'5" linebacker. That's what I do. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, go by his advice with the passing and the relationship, but Josh Allen can give out advice to a lot of people. A lot of people cannot follow that advice. It's up to Jackson Dart to then make it his own because nobody has the skill set of 17.
It's a good point. That is a specific request to be done by a quarterback. But we'll see how this pans out for the Giants and the Bills this weekend. Baker Mayfield is also not afraid to get physical. He was involved in a scrum at practice with the Titans.
Yeah, and our group's not going to back down. And you get guys shoving people late in the back. We're not going to back down. We're not going to start it because we're not stupid, but we'll finish it.
How hard is it for you as a quarterback to stay out of that? I mean, Tristan was coming out there. He still has a
He needs to
crutch.
stay on the sideline with those crutches. Yeah, I was in the middle of it. It was fun.
We're not going to start it because we're not stupid, but we will finish it. Will, you're giggling with glee, honestly. Baker Mayfield with the flat-brimmed hat and the casual stance about the engagement of physicality in practice. Is Baker Mayfield the ultimate bro of the NFL?
Listen, first of all, he has that DAA detective 1980s mustache answering that question. Yeah. But Baker is definitely the ultimate bro. Going all the way back to Oklahoma, planting the flag, dancing in the middle of the group. You know, I love this. And I'm gonna go last year to the wild card game versus the Commanders. Where Baker Mayfield decided to go right after first ballot Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner and runs him right over. You see him just decides to scramble, lowers the shoulder, boom, Bobby, sit down. Okay, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what he does. He goes right after him. But this is the guy who sets the tone. This is why wherever he went, he found a way. He transferred from Texas Tech, goes to Oklahoma, finds a way, ends up winning the Heisman, goes first round pick, #1 overall draft pick. And wherever he's gone, he has affected the team. I remember when he came out for the draft, I talked to John Dorsey, and what helped deciding factor in drafting him is that he had this self-efficacy. Like, he was able to uplift everybody in the room no matter where he was. And so right there, when I have my quarterback in a playoff game, decide to scramble, you look Bobby Wagner in the eyes, and you know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I decided to lower my shoulder. Yes, the ultimate bro from that play alone.
Kyle.
Oh, that's me. I was getting ready for Manti's answer. I was excited about it. This is hard. When does it ever go Will, Kyle, Manti?
Sure, that's a good point. Manti, you go. Manti, you go. Go.
I got you, KB. I got you.
I bat cleanup or I bat leadoff. I'm not the two-hitter. What are we doing?
I'll be the two-hitter, bro. I'll be the two-hitter. Now, when we're talking about this question, is he the ultimate bro?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's the ultimate bro, but I'm gonna pull a football term. He's first team all bro.
Nice.
Because there's some guys in the NFL. Okay, I made a Mount Rushmore. Thanks to our production team, I made a Mount Rushmore of the first team all bro. Okay, we got Baker in there, George Kittle. We got Snowman, a friend of our show, and Jordan Mailata. That's my first team all bro Mount Rushmore. I would love to know what you guys think. If you're at home, who's your 4? Now, remember, Mount Rushmore is only a 4, okay? Yeah. Don't send me lists of 10, 12. I just need 4. But that's my first team all bro. I'm not saying that
Manti,
Baker Mayfield is ultimate.
Yeah, what's the criteria?
They're the guy that they're the identity. If you look at these players, they're the identity of that team. Their energy, it's infectious. They're also the most entertaining guys to listen to on a mic'd up. Like, if any of these 4 are on a mic'd up segment, I want to listen to that. Jordan Mailata thinking he's Bane, like just congratulating, telling Jalen Hurts during the Super Bowl, Matt, you're that guy. Like, we already know Snowman's going to say something. Snowman, stop drifting cars, okay? Stop doing that. George Kittle, everything's a clip from him. So that's my first team all bro.
I love that, and it looks good, and it sounds good, and I can't argue with any. Honestly, like, all 4 of them could be Kittle. Like, he really defines this. You know what I'm saying? But I will go to Orlando, Florida, back at the beginning of 2025. I worked the Pro Bowl games, and as part of that, I get to talk to the 2 coaches who are Eli and Peyton Manning. Peyton coaches the AFC, and Eli coaches the NFC. And I asked Peyton, who's an AFC coach. My question is going to be, who's the guy who is the locker room leader in this sort of locker room here in Florida, who on the bus is getting everybody. I hadn't even gotten 2 syllables in, and Peyton goes, Baker Mayfield. Not even a guy on his team. That's on Eli's team. He could not wait to say that Baker's the one who makes sure that everyone has the right kind of beverages on the bus, who goes around making sure if you're a first-time Pro Bowler. And then I'll tell you, later that night, I got to stay in the same hotel where the players were. It's the night before the game the next day. I got in pretty late, and there's the lobby bar. And let's just say that the reason this phrase exists. Baker was holding court in the lobby bar. I think he had a huge tab run up for anybody who wanted to be part of it. Teammate, fan, anybody even in the hotel. He was holding court in the Orlando hotel. I'll never forget. I just watched him like, wow, Baker's incredibly cool. Then he comes out the next day, signs 20,000 autographs. Like, it is the full bro experience. Florida is a very bro state. The Pro Bowl is a very bro event. Yeah. He was the belle of the ball, the prom king, the bro prom king by far. And I give him a huge compliment. I watched Baker Mayfield running over Bobby Wagner there. it just makes me wish that I was young again, and at some level of football I could play with Baker Mayfield and just to be in his huddle to see what it's like. High school, Pop Warner, anything. It's just contagious, and you want to be a part of it.
Kyle, there's nothing that thrills me more than to see somebody who matches me and my extrovertedness to hold court at a lobby bar. So if I had been there and walked in there, I would have just beelined straight over to that lobby bar, and I would have been like, what are we doing? What are we drinking? Let's go. Kyle, my question for you is this. Did you go over and engage in the court that was being held at the lobby bar?
I was with 2 minors at the time, my son and his friend, so they weren't really allowed in the lobby bar, although I guarantee it that Baker would have just thrown my son and his friend like a big old Shirley Temple. It would have come whatever they wanted, that you can have it. You guys want some crayons? You want a word search? You want pasta with butter? I'll get anything you guys want. He was just so cool, and I would have, Jamie, for sure. Dude, welcome back to our series, episode 4 of our series of reminding you about dudes that you should remember. You remember the superstars from 30 years ago, but there was the shooting stars who might have burnt out, might have had injuries, might have had other types of adversity. And today's episode is about this man, Robert Edwards. Kind of an infamous name in the NFL based on what happened to him, but an incredible player, incredible story. Robert Edwards was a New England Patriot who had some incredibly terrible things happen to him and was able to persevere. And I'm going to tell the story here, and this was a dude. This is a guy from Georgia who ends up playing college football at Georgia, joined Georgia as a defensive back. In fact, he played corner. He looks massive there in that number 47. Switches to running back, scored 5 touchdowns in a game against South Carolina, still a Georgia record for most touchdowns in a single game. He gets drafted in the first round, 1998, 18th overall to the Patriots. These are the Pete Carroll Patriots, my friends. And Robert Edwards had an amazing start to his career. He scored a touchdown in his first 6 games in the NFL. That is still a record for best start to an NFL career for a running back. He's stiff-arming dudes. He had this kind of fullback frame with a halfback's quickness. This is when big, strong backs were all the rage in the NFL. And he's wearing that 47 with fingerless gloves and just breaking the 1998 scale. I absolutely love it. Against the Oilers, again, to emphasize how incredible the start to his career was, look at how he ranks historically. This is rookies to start a career with a rushing touchdown, 1+. He's sitting above 2 Hall of Famers and a great Buffalo Bill in 1980. Robert Edwards, that still stands. Think of all these crazy rookie running back scenes you've seen. Clinton Portis, Cadillac Williams, Saquon Barkley, any of them could not do what Robert Edwards did. And then, guys, then he accepts his invitation to the Pro Bowl. In February of 1999, he goes to something called the Rookie Beach Bowl, which looks like all kinds of fun, and it was. There's Peyton, there's Charles Woodson. They're playing flag football on a beach. This is Hawaii. And Robert Edwards is out there, and you play offense, you play defense. When Charlie Batch throws a deep pass to R.W. McQuarters, Charles Woodson and Robert Edwards go up to bat the pass down, and Edwards lands and destroys his knee. We have the play, and I'm not going to show it because it's unsightly, and I think it's disrespectful. But he was severely injured. He was carried off the sand. There he is, where he learned later that he tore his ACL, MCL, and PCL and had nerve damage and sliced an artery in his left leg. In the ambulance on the way to the hospital in Hawaii, he is told his leg very well may need to be amputated if the blood doesn't stop leaking, erupting. It was terrible, terrible scene. Doctors save his leg, but tell him to his face his football career is over, and in fact, he may never walk again. This is years before Alex Smith went through something similar at the quarterback position, and much like him back in the day, Robert Edwards said, I am going to fight my way through this.
I just wanted to play football, be around the game some type of way. People said it wouldn't happen. Even people close to him didn't really think it was going to happen. Even me, I questioned it because I have seen those injuries before. But I guess the difference between him and those other guys is that he really made a decision that he would not quit. He wouldn't give up. I went through a rehab where I worked 8 hours a day. I wanted to quit every step of the way. It was days I didn't want to get up. I think I got hurt for a reason and was able to come back for a reason. I had to go through that to be an inspiration to others.
So you see him there in the Dolphins. But first, Robert Edwards misses the entire 99 season, the entire 2000 season, all spent on his rehab and recovery. Then he gets brought in to be a New England Patriot on the 2001 Bill Belichick New England Patriots. And of all things, it's a groin injury in training camp, not his knee, a totally separate injury that does not allow him to make the team. Bill Parcells cuts him. But 2002, 1,300 plus days after his injury, he is picked up by the Miami Dolphins, and he is back on the NFL field for the 02 Dolphins, standing there on the baseball field next to Jay Fiedler, and he's carrying the ball, he's breaking tackles. Guys, he averaged over 5 yards a carry after being out for 3 years and once being told, never mind football, we don't think you're going to walk again. We may have to take your leg. This was a good Dolphins team. He had a big part in it. He scored 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. An incredible, incredible feat. Again, 3 years plus since having played football. He receives the George Halas Award given to players coming back from adversity. And after the 2002 season, he would not play in the NFL again. However, he goes to the CFL and was their equivalent of a Pro Bowler. 2 seasons of 1,100 plus yards on that knee, breaking tackles, running tough. This is 3 years again after ever having played in the NFL after his freak injury. Robert Edwards, a fantastic, fantastic story that everybody should look up to. Since retiring from football way back in 2007 after his Canadian football, he has become a high school coach. He currently coaches at Washington County High School in Georgia, his alma mater. We see him as a Patriot. We've seen him as a Dolphin, but we see him as a symbol of resilience. A terribly infamous freak thing to happen on a beach in Hawaii ends with him coming back to play football in the NFL. Robert Edwards, know him, remember him, because back in the day, this was a dude. More Good Morning Football after this. Don't go anywhere.
GMFB, yesterday we had 3 amazing games to start off week 1 of the preseason, but we got 3 more days. And out of those 3 days, I got 5 rookies that I think you should watch and that I'm excited to watch. Starting off with number 1, I don't know if there's anybody that's more excited to watch this guy play than myself. Travis Hunter, the former Colorado Buffalo Heisman Trophy winner, also known as a unicorn because of his ability to play both sides of the ball. Now, he's going to line up against the Steelers this weekend. I want to see how's this rep count going to go? How much is he going to play offense compared to defense? Or is he going to play defense more than offense? We'll see. Now, the Steelers aren't playing their starters. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see him going against Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf. But we'll have to wait for the season to do that. But tune in tomorrow against the Steelers as the Jaguars go over there and battle. Number 2, Jackson Dart. Now, there was a lot of conversation after he was drafted 25th overall to the New York Giants. But the Giants knew what they wanted, and they went out and got him. Now, Jackson Dart, while at Ole Miss, showed an ability to throw the ball unlike any other quarterback. But also, he did demonstrate a courageous acts in his ability to run and run people over. And they started to ask a question. Could this be Brian Daboll and Joe Shane's new Josh Allen? Well, to answer that question, it's no secret why Jackson Dart is talking to Josh Allen while they're over there in New York practicing against the Buffalo Bills. So I'm excited to watch Jackson Dart play against the Buffalo Bills tomorrow. Tune in to watch the number 25 overall pick battle against the Buffalo Bills. Next, when I talk about Ohio State University and wide receivers, there's a long list of wide receivers. I can go Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, Scary Terry. But out of all of them, Emeka Egbuka has the record at Ohio State for the most receptions in school history. This guy out of camp, not only his head coach, but Baker Mayfield has said that he runs precise routes and he's so smart in zone coverages. He knows how to sit down. He knows where to go, where not to go. And he's been a friendly target for Baker Mayfield all camp. So I know that Mike Evans isn't going to be out there for the preseason game against the Titans. So we're not going to see that full effect for the Buccaneers with defenses really paying attention to Mike Evans out there. But I'm excited to see Emeka Egbuka work out of the slot for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 4th, Island boy, local boy, Tetaroa McMillan. He plays for the Carolina Panthers. Now, Tetaroa McMillan is 6'5", 210 yards. While at Arizona, he set a whole bunch of records there for yards, receptions, touchdowns. But there has been questions about his ability to separate. That was a conversation that we had during the combine, during all of that pre-draft process was, can he separate in the NFL? Well, we'll have to wait until he plays the Cleveland Browns tonight if he can separate. But if he can't, that 6'5" frame, 210 pounds is going to be a big target for Bryce Young, not only during the preseason, but throughout this season for the Carolina Panthers. Last but not least, probably one of my favorite guys. And you guys, I had to end with the defense. Will Johnson out of the University of Michigan, 2-time All-American, national championship. He was the defensive MVP for that game. Now, he did slide out of the first round because concerns for his knee. But everything out of camp, all the highlights out of camp has him strapping up guys, locking guys down, being physical with Marvin Harrison Jr. And so I'm really excited to see him line up. If you want to watch him this Saturday against the Kansas City Chiefs. He's somebody that I'm really excited to watch and do his thing out there in the secondary. So those are 5 rookies that I think you should be locked in come this weekend.
Well done, Manti. We'll make you clean up your mess after the segment is done, all right? Just throw in those cards, and they're all over your floor, okay, your office space. There's your list, Manti. How did you only got one guy on defense.
Yeah. Well,
Damn.
I try to pick people that I've heard a whole bunch of stuff about.
1.5 guys, excuse me. Travis
Yeah,
Hunter
Travis Hunter plays 0.5. But I think everybody wants to see Travis.
Yeah.
I know a lot of conversation coming out of the draft was Jackson Dart and the Giants selecting him and why didn't they draft somebody else. Emeka Egbuka probably is the guy that I heard talked about a lot. Just his ability to get open, how smart he is, his football IQ, Ted Tydoa McMillan, just that big target.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, it was Will Johnson. I thought that all of the clips that I saw in training camp, I mean, there's one he just pushed down Marvin Harrison Jr. I was like, oh, this guy is something. He's physical. So I'm excited to see him.
Well, listen, it's an eclectic group. I like it, but I'm here in New York City. There's a feeling here we go. This morning's New York Post. Action Jackson Dart sitting there in all his glory on the whole cover on the back. And they're starting to speak about him. There's only a New York media account. I'm going to read directly from the New York Post. Jackson Dart represents the symbol of hope for Giants fans that Josh Allen represented for Bills fans, that Eli Manning represented for Giants fans, that Daniel Jones represented for them. Jones, hard as he tried, ultimately could not replace Eli Manning. Dable and GM Joe Shane have staked their reputation on Jackson Dart. But first things first. They know what time it is here. You do not draft a quarterback in the first round if you were a New York football team and not expect and demand great things. Not just being a starter eventually. It's like you win a Super Bowl here. Like we win championships in New York. You can talk to anybody you want, Derek Jeter, Eli Manning, Michael Strahan, everybody except the Knicks. They never win squat. But I'm talking about all the other guys understand, and there's an understanding of Jackson Dart that, like, dude, you are here to win a Super Bowl, not just a game against the Eagles someday or the job. It's a long way off, and it starts, though, this weekend. Like, he will be out there. He will be playing in Highmark Stadium against the Bills with Josh Allen in the crowd. And however he plays will be dissected with the finest of scalpels. And that's the lot in life for Jackson Dart right now. It starts this weekend.
Yeah, this is a fun list, man. But Braden, I can't get out of when you mentioned Travis Hunter and you talked about the Steelers. And at one point, you have to go against Jalen Ramsey and then go to the other side and defend DK Metcalf. That sounds exhausting. I just can't mentally get over it. That's crazy. That would be a long day.
I think it's a good exercise. Like, you have to really put the example with intention and understand the physicality that what we're asking of him, what the Jags are asking of him, how intense it's going to get.
Yeah, well, that's why I mentioned it. It's just like this is that situation. Like, if this was the game, if this was the season, you would have to line up on offense, go against Jalen Ramsey or Slay, and then you would have to go and guard DK Metcalf. Like, that's not an easy day at the job. So that's the conversation that we're having. So unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to the season, but we're going to get a little taste of Week 1 against the Steelers.
Listen, it's your top 5 players that you are watching this weekend, and I understand why you didn't put Shedeur Sanders on it, one of which is because we're going to talk about him in a couple minutes. But also, I think you could just make a top 5 list of things that we're watching about Shedeur Sanders. Like, the thing that is going to go down tonight for the Cleveland Browns, against the Panthers is so big in terms of commentary and media and what the loaded name means for that young player. But the Shedeur Sanders experience will be on tonight on NFL Network. But it is to pay attention to those other rookies and the impact that they will have just to set the tone for their own career, I assume.